I'm Carl. Welcome back. I'm gonna get into validation and why I kind of feel like it ruins a lot of people's, everyday life. And validation is simply like you're doing what you're doing and you need approval from everybody else to be doing what you're doing. You see that a lot of relationships, you see that a lot of jobs, you see that just in normal pictures, that people post online. It's like they'll post their dog online and then it may be a cute picture, but everybody may not like dogs. So then they may only get, if they got like 2,000 friends, and out of that 2,000 friends, 1,800 of them like cats. They see the dog, they be like, I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And they won't like anything, you know. Then you might have another person that has dogs where most of their friends are dog lovers anyway, and they got a full 5,000 friends on Facebook, and they post a picture of that same dog, and they get all 5,000 likes, and everybody's commenting, and everybody's saying, oh, that dog is so cute. You know, it's almost like they have to validate themselves having that dog sometimes. And here's where I get into it when it's everyday life. Like, people get into relationships, I've been in several over the years. It's like, you know, there's a certain point where, you or the woman that you with, the guy that you with, whatever, they always want that feedback. Do you really love me? Do you really care for me? So forth and so on, you know. But that's between you and your partner, you know. But then when that person starts getting you stuff, they buy you a car, they take you to, some overseas trip, or they take you on a cruise, they get you, y'all together buy a new house. I hear some people say, yeah, that's her house and blah, 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 or that's his house. And no, it's yours together. If you living in there, that's part of your house too, especially if you've been in there for several years and so forth. But anyway, anyhow, it's like they look to be validated when they go online, and especially if they start giving feedback like, you know, what do y'all think about this ring, such and such got for me, and stuff like that. It's like, look, your relationship, you can post whatever you want because it has your name on social media and so forth. I post stuff. Some stuff may be personal. Some stuff may be, nonsensical. Other stuff may be funny. You know, a lot of stuff that I post, by the way, I'm trying to be funny or whatever. Unless it's a real life incident, and I might blow off steam or whatever. Everybody do that. I'm human. You're human. I guess you're human watching this. I mean, hell, you could be some sort of life form that's something else or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, anyhow, people try to use that to justify their relationship. They might be with their society 10, and they can't help but to put every picture of him or her out there saying, yeah, I got this to come home to, and we do this and we do that. So whose relationship is it? Is it everybody else's relationship, or is it yours? And a lot of people sometimes can't answer that question, because you might talk to some of those people on the side and they might mention, well, you know, my husband don't do this for me, and, I'm getting sick of, him saying this about me, and, doing this, and I'm going to leave him. Then you had that same conversation 2 years later. They still with him and they still saying the same thing, but then they go online trying to validate their relationship. It's like, oh yeah, we went to such and such and we had an awesome time. It's like people can't support your relationship, you know. And this is just one form of validation that I'm getting into. People can't support your relationship. You have to support your own relationship. You and whoever you with. Those are the two people that matter the most in a relationship? I don't matter. Your parents don't matter. Nobody else matters unless you make them matter into your relationship. So seeking validation for somebody you with, that's a losing battle. You already done lost that relationship if you trying to get other people to, integrate, other pieces that's not going to be in your bedroom into that relationship. I mean, if you two have kids out of that relationship, yeah, they matter because that's y'all kids. You know what I'm saying? But that's still, your relationship is your personal relationship with each other. And if you're a religious person, it's between you two and God. Um, if you do right by them, they do right by you, you love them, they care for you, that's all that matters. If y'all can grow your relationship, if y'all do a lot of stuff together and so forth, that is what you want. You two define your relationship. It has nothing to do with everybody else that's out there. Just like with your job, validation comes from, your actual performance, how much effort and how much skill level that you put into working. If you're out there and you're doing the job, you pushing hard, you're doing the job right, you know, it's going to pay off. Whether it's there, another department, another company, or on your own. If you're willing to put out effort and you're willing to do the right things and you don't screw over people, you don't treat people wrong, good things will come to you. So the only careers that I ever thought need validation are any front facing careers like being an entertainer, being the head of a company, um, politicians, because you need the constant feedback from either whoever's supporting your company, whoever your constituents are that you represent, and the material that you put out there. So if you do anything like you're an actor, you're a performer, entertainer, singer, songwriter, whatever, anything in that industry, you need validation because that's your career. That's what you do. It's like you want more people supported it than people not supported it. And then when it comes down to feedback, there's good feedback and there's negative feedback. And that good is obviously positive feedback. But I look at positive and negative feedback in two different categories. To me, people think about positive feedback. Oh, Carl, you did a great job. That's awesome. That's what I want to see. That is not positive feedback. To me, that's negative feedback. Negative feedback is, let me break down negative feedback. When somebody tells you something that is a compliment, that's not necessarily telling you how good you've done. When somebody gives me negative feedback, it's usually like a one-liner, a compliment, something disparaging on the other end of the spectrum, but they don't tell you why. Negative feedback never gives you the why. They just tell you everything that they hate or love, and then they move on. That's how I look at negative feedback. My mind is kind of twisted, so people are gonna be like, "No, that's not negative feedback." No, it is because you're giving me compliments or disparaging remarks that really doesn't help the situation. You know. Now, good feedback is, Carl, you messed this up, but this is how you messed it up. You took that programming code and instead of this image on the screen turning red, it turned blue, and then it turned yellow, then it turned, all these other colors. I think if you kept a consistent color on that image, this would have made the project a lot better and a lot cleaner and a better look. Now, that's good feedback because now you're telling me what the problem is. You may not, you may not like what you saw, but this is why you didn't like what you saw, because this could have made something better. Now, that is positive feedback to me. Whether you love something, well, tell me, why did you love it? Oh, Carl, I love that image on the screen because it turned from red to blue, and it made a nice flow with the scene, and the landscape, blended in, and it just caught my eye, and it kept me, watching something. That is good feedback. Whenever you get feedback, you always want to know the why. You know, Somebody could say, "Well, I can't stand your guts." Okay, why? What did I say, do, or look like to make you so pissed off with me? You know, and some people may misinterpret what you're saying, and that comes out in the feedback. See, getting feedback is different than being validated. When you're trying to be validated, you want everybody to endorse what you're doing. When you're trying to get feedback, you just want to know, are you doing the right thing? You're asking people, hey, is this project I'm working on making any sense? Are the steps that I'm taking doing anything as in terms of the greater overall good of what I'm trying to get to? That's different than trying to be validated. If you're seeking validation, you're never, ever going to get it. That's the worst thing you could do, especially in a relationship, which is a one on one, and that's between you two. Now, if you're working on something and you want good feedback, that's a totally different thing. So know the difference between the two, and don't sit over there and try to take your vacation pictures and try to go out there and get validated like, oh yeah, you did the greatest thing ever. And then you create these fictional haters that's coming to your page and so forth because they don't like what you're putting out there. They may not like what you put it out there, and I'm not saying that they put like an angry sign or a dislike check or something like that. They may not respond to it because, quite honestly, they don't give a damn. You have more people that are indifferent than people that love you and hate you. That indifferent line is like 80% of the people that you know. They're going to, like, all right, whatever. You know, I seen that before. They're dismissive about something. Whereas people that love everything that you do, they may really like you as a person, and they may be indifferent about you doing whatever you're doing, but they like it because they like you. And then they may like what you're doing. Who knows? But that's like 15% of the people that you know is going to like and love the vast majority of everything that you do. And then you got that 5% that's always going to hate everything that you do because you're not doing what they think you should be doing. That's another problem with validation. People will take their values, their morals, and their experience and apply that to you. You're living a totally different life than what they're living, but they live their life in the single lens, the single silo, and all of a sudden it's like everything you do they judge based off of their criteria, not your criteria. They don't think about what you've gone through to do what you do. They think about how they know you and how they think they should control you. Usually, obviously, family members and, especially your parents, they're always going to be more hypercritical of everything that you do because there's a certain element of control there. And with family members, obviously, half of them want to benefit off of what you do, and the other half of them just want, you to be you. You know, you've been on this earth for decades. They want the teenage version of you versus the 30-year-old version of you where you got your own life and experiences and stuff like that, but they always see you as that teenager or that toddler, and they just want you to follow what you were then. There's an old saying, and many people have said this: if you are the same person you were 10 years ago. You just wasted 10 years of your life. So if you don't grow, or you don't morph, or you don't do something different, or, you know, even if you are living your life the same and so forth, but if you're not getting experience and you're not enjoying life, then what are you doing? And that's what validation does. It's like you're taking your own experiences and you pushing that out to everybody else instead of you enjoying your experience. You know, every relationship that you're in, every job that you work, every trip that you take, every other experience that you have, you need to enjoy that. And who you with needs to enjoy that. Don't give a damn what Carl thinks. Don't give a damn what your parents think. Are you enjoying your life? And if you're not enjoying your life, then you need to be doing something different. Or you need to stop trying to get validation from everybody else. That's the problem that people have with validation. Stop trying to seek others to make your life whole. You have to make your road when you're making your life whole, and stop trying to get everybody else to make you this mega star and so forth. You know, enjoy life. Take a look at what you're taking pictures of this time. You know, experience that meal with that person that you with. Experience that movie that y'all watching. Experience that car ride. Stop thinking what other people would think about what you're doing and do what you and your partner are doing together. You know, enjoy it. Whatever your lifestyle is, enjoy your lifestyle. Don't get somebody to validate who you are and what you are. And that's a big problem, especially nowadays. Everybody's seeking approval instead of enjoying their own life and life experiences. Until next time.